welcome to Live Interactive English. Hi everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And we are back in Bangkok in April, and man is it hot, and gosh am I wet. But I'm having a really good time. Are you enjoying Songkran?
Yes, it would be. It sounds like such a fun thing. And when I was younger, I really did want to go. And I just never quite made the timing work out. And then after I have kids, now I'm like, yeah, they'd have fun. But I think it's way too many people to bring kids.
True. And it is in the month of April. We already have our tomb sweeping holiday here in April. So maybe organizing a trip is a little tricky, but if you're into fun and you're young and you're enthusiastic about water fights, I think it's definitely a place you would want to check out at least 1 year. As we learned, Songkran is all about cleaning out the old stuff for the new year, and people will pour water on Buddhas in temples. They'll clean their homes in a very traditional way, but they also have these massive world water wars, and the center of it is in Bangkok on, what was it, Khao San Road?
Yes.
That's the place to go because there's a lot of international tourists there, and of course many local people. I think if you're a Thai person and you want to throw water at a German, that's the place to go to do it, and you are allowed to do that. This is the one time of year when you can attack people with water balloons and not get in trouble.
Yes, and not get in trouble. Yes, but if that's not really the thing that you're into, well, April is still an okay time to go because there's actually lots of other stuff that you can do. And yes, of course, there's stuff in Bangkok year-round, but April has some kind of, good weather, happy vibes after just having Songkran and all this kind of stuff. So I think we should see what else can we do if we don't want to just have a water fight.
I absolutely agree, and that's what we're going to do. So let's do it.
The water fights aren't just fun, they're a welcome opportunity to cool down, as April is Bangkok's hottest time of year. Temperatures in the city often rise above 35 degrees Celsius, so escaping the heat is vital. Fortunately, Bangkok offers many indoor attractions. Wandering through the historical exhibits of the National Museum or the art-filled galleries of the Bangkok Art and Culture Center is a great way to appreciate some culture while also enjoying some much-needed air conditioning.
All right, so let's get into Big Heat, Water Fights, and Street Feasts, Bangkok in April, Part 2, and see what happens after the water fights are over, after people say, okay, we give up, no more fighting. It says the water fights aren't just fun, they're a welcome opportunity to cool down, as April is Bangkok's hottest time of year. Very interesting. So the hottest time of the year, the time in the year when the temperatures are at their highest, is actually kind of springtime. It's kind of April, but that's a good time to have a water fight because, of course, that will all help you cool down. Now, when we say hot, I think here in Taiwan, we know hot, right? We're familiar with hot. So when they say hot in Thailand, what do they mean?
Well, it says temperatures in the city often rise above 35 degrees Celsius.
That's hot.
So escaping the heat is vital. Yes, at that temperature, you do need to be careful when you are outside and for how long, and probably need to have sunscreen and water and all this kind of stuff. Otherwise, you just need to try to escape the heat. This is a vital thing to do to stay safe. And vital, this adjective just means very important or necessary. You could talk about your vital organs in your body, the organs that you need to have in order to be alive. Like, yes, you could lose your arm or your hand or your fingers. That would not be fun, but they're not vital. You're still going to be living. But if something happens to your heart or your lungs, then you're going to have a little bit more trouble. And here, if you are not taking care of yourself when you're outside, that could be very dangerous. So it's vital to pay attention to this and get out of the heat. And it says, it is vital that you remember what I am saying. So maybe this person just gave very important information to keep you safe on your trip or on when you're going somewhere. And so you need to remember.
It's very, very important. It's necessary. You got to do it. All right. So yes, you definitely have to get out of the heat. Sometimes you can't stay out in temperatures like that all the time. Fortunately or luckily, Bangkok offers many indoor attractions. All right, well, that's good. I'm assuming if it's indoor, that means inside a building, they have air conditioning. So yes, fortunately, there are these options, there are these places you can go to get out of the heat. Yeah, when we say fortunately, we're kind of saying with some good luck. It works out in kind of a good way. Luckily is another word we can kind of say there. Maybe someone planned it that way, maybe it just worked out that way. It could have gone badly, but in this case, it went fine, all right? So if you're in a poorer country, or outside of a big city, they might not have air-conditioned buildings that are so easy to get to, like in Bangkok. But since it's a big city, since lots of people live there, fortunately, they have lots of options to beat the heat. Let's look at an example sentence. Stan had left his wallet at home. Oh no. But fortunately, he had some cash in his pocket. Oh, phew. Or fortunately, he had his Easy card, so he could still use it to buy some stuff. This is lucky. It could have been bad, but it worked out okay. So where can we go to beat the heat and get some AC?
Well, it says wandering through the historical exhibits of the National Museum or the art-filled galleries of the Bangkok Art and Culture Center is a great way to appreciate some culture while also enjoying some much-needed air conditioning. So yes, there are some places that you can go and you can look at things that are not outside in the sun, but rather inside in the air conditioning. And if you go to a museum, you might see an exhibit. So an exhibit is basically a showcase of some type of art or ancient items or something like that, that basically the museum sets out for everybody to see. So an exhibit is something that you want other people to come and look at. And when we talk again about museums, usually their exhibits, some of their bigger exhibits will rotate around the world to different museums. So if you hear like, oh, the new ancient Egypt exhibit has come to Taiwan, and you can go visit it at the museum before it moves on to the next country where they will move all those artifacts to a new place for other people to see. Okay. And our example sentence says, my favorite exhibit in the museum is an ancient sword. So this person really likes to see the exhibit of the sword and see how old it is or how cool it is or something like that. I
guess that jade cabbage is one of the most famous exhibits.
Or the Luro fan one
that's
too.
Right, the jade, the pork.
Yeah, the pork one.
The jade pork at the Gugong, the National Palace Museum, of course, has many wonderful exhibits that you can see there, and air conditioning too. All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll be back to do more fun stuff in Thailand.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续介绍4月的曼谷。课文提到4月是曼谷一年当中最热的时节，城市气温常常会超过摄氏35度，所以避暑这件事至关重要。那幸好曼谷有许多室内景点，像是可以去国家博物馆去看历史展品，或者是去曼谷艺术文化中心去逛画廊，一边欣赏文化，一边吹冷气来降温。好，单字 vital 就是形容至关重要的或是不可或缺的。 Fortunately 这个副词表示幸运的事或是幸好。 Exhibit 当名词，它有展品、陈列物或是展览、展览会的意思。Sam 老师提到有一些展览会轮流在世界各地不同的这个博物馆展出，老师用到 rotate 这个动词 R-O-T-A-T-E rotate 它有轮流、轮值或是使旋转、转动的意思。老师还有提到 artifact A-R-T-I-F-A-C-T artifact 表示手工艺品或是人工制品。那这句话课文中
Whether you spend your time splashing in water or sightseeing, sooner or later you'll work up an appetite. A visit to Bangkok isn't complete without sampling its world-famous street food. So, eating at one of the many stalls that line the city's streets is a must. They serve Thai delicacies such as pad Thai, green papaya salad, and tom yum night and day. At the Chatuchak Market, one of the largest of its kind in the world, you can also fill up on great food while shopping for everything from antiques to fast fashion. Few other places are as entertaining as Bangkok, and in April, the city is at its most energetic. It's no wonder those who leave the Thai capital are always itching to return.
All right, we are back. Thailand is still providing a lot of fun entertainment. We're in Bangkok, which is great because a lot of people just go to Bangkok for a day or two, and then they might go to a beautiful island and sit on the beach. But I often feel like Bangkok probably has a lot to offer people. If you do spend a bit more time there, and it seems April, wow, you will have so much to do in Bangkok. You're throwing water at strangers, you're enjoying the air conditioning in lovely museums, looking at exhibits, and eventually, though, it's gonna be lunchtime or dinner time or maybe just snack time. Whether you spend your time splashing in water or sightseeing, sooner or later, you'll work up an appetite. Absolutely. We are humans, we need to eat. Whether we're playing and, having water fights, whether we're just walking around and looking at museums or shopping or whatever it is, if you're doing sightseeing type activities, it can actually be tiring, right?
Yes.
You can actually use a lot of energy walking around and doing stuff as a tourist. And that's what sightseeing is. It's going around to different places and doing stuff like a tourist. You are seeing sights. Get it? Get it? Yeah. Sights being interesting things that tourists like to see, landmarks, museums, having different experiences in a new country, and you're seeing them, you're going there, you're there in person, you are actually experiencing all this stuff. So during tourist activities, a simple way of saying that is sightseeing. After a full day of sightseeing, Gabby was very tired. You do walk a lot when you're sightseeing, a lot more than you do in your normal life. So yeah, you can get tired and hungry.
Yeah, and you also get tired just from everything is new and kind of overwhelming. Then that also exhausts you at the end of the day too.
Yeah,
so
planning.
Good to remember to find some food so that you will still be able to have a little bit of energy to get back to your hotel.
And I think in Bangkok, finding food is pretty simple.
Yes.
Kind of like in Taiwan.
Yeah, and so it says, a visit to Bangkok isn't complete without sampling its world-famous street food. So eating at one of the many stalls that line the city's streets is a must. So again, lots and lots and lots and lots of food in Thailand. And again, like you said with Taiwan, a lot of street food. And that's kind of where you should be trying to eat if you are okay with it, because that's where the really good food is.
Absolutely. That sentence you just read, we could use that to describe visiting Taiwan, right? World famous street food, many stalls on the city streets, and it's a must. You gotta try the local food. But the food, of course, is a bit different. It says they serve Thai delicacies, such as, it says, pad Thai, green papaya salad, and tom yum night and day. Tom yum is the dish. Night and day means it's available all the time, right? Pad Thai is kind of like a fried noodles. The green papaya salad is that kind of a crunchy salad. It's served cold, a little bit spicy with peanuts. And the tom yum, that's like a soup, right? I think it's a soup. I might avoid the tom yum soup in April. Might be a little bit too hot. But definitely the green papaya salad and the pad Thai. And yeah, it's available night and day, available almost 24 hours a day, anytime you want.
Yes, and if you've eaten and now you are kind of filled up, then you might want to go see some other stuff or maybe do some shopping.
Or do both.
Yes, and so it says, at the Chatuchak Market, one of the largest of its kind in the world, and it is really ridiculously huge.
Okay.
You can also fill up on great food while shopping for everything from antiques to fast fashion. So yes, this is one of those places that you hear about that they say, oh yeah, if you want to buy anything, you could go there. And when you go there, you realize they really mean almost anything. This market has just stores from everything that you almost can't even imagine. Where you're like, oh, I want to buy a rug. Well, here's a bunch of rugs. Or you want to buy clothes or shoes. It's just everything.
Okay.
And so it says antiques to fast fashion, and antiques are things that are old. So if you're buying an antique, you might buy an antique rug or an antique chair or an antique plate set. These are all things that come from times before. It could be, I don't even know exactly what counts as when the antique
I think
starts.
It's about 100 years.
Okay,
I think
so
it might be about 100 years old.
100 years and older,
Right.
those would be considered antiques.
Yeah.
And in, like, for example, in America, there are a bunch of antique shops, and a lot of people are interested in antique furniture and things like that are really good quality wood that has survived this whole time. But you also can see antiques in, for example, a museum. You might see antique pots and plates and all that kind of stuff too.
Sure, absolutely. People might decorate their home with antique furniture, really old furniture, very valuable. I think if it's retro, it's like 30 or 40 years old, and then we might say vintage if you get things from the 50s or the 40s, the 1950s. And then if it's really old, going back to the early 20th century, antique. These can be expensive, and of course, you'll then have to get it shipped from Bangkok back to Taiwan. So do be careful about this stuff, but maybe some smaller antiques would be very easy to buy and pack and bring home with you as a nice little souvenir. It says few other places are as entertaining as Bangkok. So when you say few other places, not many other places are as fun or entertaining as Bangkok. I think we can think of a few cities, but not many. Bangkok is one of the most fun places you can go and not too expensive too. So I think that's nice and close to us here in Taiwan. When we say entertaining, we just mean it gives you lots of pleasure, lots of fun. It gives you entertainment. It doesn't make you feel bored. It isn't hard work. It's enjoyable. The things you do on the weekend and after work, after school, those might be things that are entertaining, not for work, not for school, just for fun. That movie was so entertaining. I'd love to see it again. It was a 2-hour movie, but it felt like it was just 20 minutes long because it was so much fun.
Yes, and it says, and in April, the city is at its most energetic. It's no wonder those who leave the Thai capital are always itching to return. So they go and they want to go back as soon as they leave.
That's right. Don't worry, there won't be anything wrong with your skin. If you're itching to return, that just means you really want to go back.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with a skin rash. Ugh. All right, what do you think? How do you usually cool down when you get too hot?
Well, when I'm too warm, I tend to try to go swimming or
Ooh, that's a
go
good
somewhere
idea.
with air conditioning.
All right, crank up the air conditioner. Maybe take off your sweater or your scarf or your jacket. So I generally drink a cold beverage in order to cool myself down. A nice glass of iced water, iced tea, something like that. And yeah, find an AC, sit under that or in front of a fan. Or maybe just go to a giant water fight. I don't know. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We will see you down at the Songkran Festival, maybe, throwing some water balloons at each other. Take care. Bye. I want a hose. I want a fire hose.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Knock everybody down.
无论你是花时间泼水还是在观光，迟早呢都会胃口大开，很想要吃当地美食。而且来到曼谷不品尝他们世界闻名的街头美食，这趟旅程就不完整了。那你可以去到恰图恰市集那边，一边吃美食一边购物。那边摊贩卖的东西五花八门，从古董到快时尚，应有尽有。那课文最后提到，很少有地方像曼谷一样有趣。在4月啊，这座城市是活力最充沛的时候，难怪那些离开曼谷的人总是渴望再回到这个地方。好，单字 sightsee。表示观光游览。那么有时候去的观光旅游跑了很多点，吸收太多新资讯，你可能会觉得有点招架不住。这时候 Sam 老师他用到 overwhelming 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 可以形容说强烈到令人难以承受的或是不知所措的。再看到 entertaining 它是形容有趣的、具有娱乐性的或是令人愉快的。补充单字 antique它表示古董、古玩。Mike 老师这时候则提到 vintage vintage 则是形容经典的或是古色古香的。那这边3个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看第一个重点是 whether A or B 逗号主词加动词，这表示无论 A 或 B 怎么样。那 whether or 是用来引导2种或2种以上的选择或可能性，表达说无论是什么什么还是什么什么。例如 whether you are an amateur or a pro, you're welcome to join us. 无论是业余人士或专业人士，都欢迎您加入我们。 第二个重点是主词加上 be not complete 或者是 never complete without 加上名词或动名词，这表示没有什么什么就不完整了。那这个句型用到两个否定词 not 和 without 来强调肯定，字面意思就是没有就不算完整，也就是一定要有才行。例如 A trip is not complete without tasting the local food. 旅行一定要品尝当地美食才行。第三个重点是 be itching to 加上原形动词，这表示急切渴望的想要怎么样。动词 itch 在这边是渴望、迫切想要的意思，那就常用 be itching to 加原形动词，或是 be itching for something 来表达。像我们在追剧的时候啊，可能就会有这样的心情。I'm itching to watch the next episode. 我很想要赶快看下一集。好，那么以上的这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
The water fights aren't just fun, they're a welcome opportunity to cool down, as April is Bangkok's hottest time of year. Temperatures in the city often rise above 35 degrees Celsius, so escaping the heat is vital. Fortunately, Bangkok offers many indoor attractions. Wandering through the historical exhibits of the National Museum or the art-filled galleries of the Bangkok Art and Culture Center is a great way to appreciate some culture while also enjoying some much-needed air conditioning. Whether you spend your time splashing in water or sightseeing, sooner or later you'll work up an appetite. A visit to Bangkok isn't complete without sampling its world-famous street food. So, eating at one of the many stalls that line the city's streets is a must. They serve Thai delicacies such as pad Thai, green papaya salad, and tom yum night and day. At the Chatuchak Market, one of the largest of its kind in the world, you can also fill up on great food while shopping for everything from antiques to fast fashion. Few other places are as entertaining as Bangkok, and in April, the city is at its most energetic. It's no wonder those who leave the Thai capital are always itching to return.
The Sanyi Wood Sculpture Museum has won awards for its unique architecture. Today, let's take a closer look at the architecture of the museum itself to see what makes it so impressive. When arriving at Sanyi Wood Sculpture Museum, you will notice several large wood sculpture pieces in the outdoor area. The museum has huge windows and walls. The architect who designed the building says that the most beautiful aspect of architecture is when it works with nature and emotion. The exhibition hall on the second floor is 13 meters high. Sunlight comes through the skylight and reaches every corner. The museum often invites famous local wood sculptors to show their works of art. Through these events, the museum can gain cultural asset preservation, cultural art promotion, artifacts research, as well as offer activities for the public. For people who enjoy wood sculpting or would like to learn more about this form of art, Sanyi Wood Sculpture Museum is the perfect place. It's so fascinating how architects are able to design such beautiful and magnificent structures. Next time you visit the Sanyi Wood Sculpture Museum, make sure to pay attention to the spectacular architecture.